I'm guessing you get to this, but what guidelines are there for what they're looking for? How it will be marked? That's a very good question. So, it is very subjective. I think that is why I'm doing this stream, because you're making me answer very difficult questions. Actually, that's good. Keep them coming. So, in composition, I mean, we all know like making art is quite subjective. So when I mark compositions, because I've also done lots of TA work, it's more well when I do undergrads anyway. When I mark undergrads, it's mainly about like the technical skills, whether they can meet the requirements and that kind of stuff. But in terms of my postgrad level composition, it's more about what goals I aim to achieve with the music, what creative goals. For example, I'm trying to depict this thing in music. How do I do it? Did I succeed? Is it convincing? Is it like academically sound? Have I like referenced how other people have done similar things in the past? So that's why I have the second part of my thesis, which is the commentary. Commentary is what most people would think is the thesis because it's the written words. It's a very short one. If you know anything about PhDs, this is really short. I think they normally go up to like, I don't know, 100,000 words or something. This is 10,000. So it's practically nothing. In fact, most people I know really struggle to like keep their word count down, as did I. I spent a lot of time cutting down my words. But yeah, so the commentary will basically be outlining like what I'm trying to do with my music and how I've tried doing it, and then like whether it worked or not. And that is also like the outcome. So I will say perhaps this worked, perhaps that didn't work, and it's fine if it didn't work, because it's basically like doing experimentation. Like when you're in a lab doing science, you're like, oh, my hypothesis is if I do this, this will happen. And then if it does happen, you've proven your hypothesis. If it doesn't happen, then that's also fine. And the conclusion is that it doesn't work, right? So in that way, it is like science. That's how I like to see it as well. So I actually didn't have a slide about this, but the way composition is like research is quite interesting. It's something that I had to learn over the first year of my studies. 1 second, let me put a link somewhere in a Discord group as well. I don't know if anyone's going to come and ask me, hi Lang Lan, who is Lang Lan? No idea who that is. That is not me though, that's for sure. Book binding last minute is expensive though. Maybe one day you can get them rebounded. They looked great. No, but the thing is, I'll show you the. Since you have mentioned the book binding, I'll show you how I actually ended up binding the stuff. This is pictures courtesy of Michelle. I bound them like this. So it's like, yeah, it's the best I could come up with. It was pretty last minute as well. It's true, but also like some of them looked better. Like these ones. These ones are like booklets. They printed it on pretty nice paper with a nice thickish, not thick but thickish cover as well. So I liked it. It's not like perfect for playing the music itself, but you know it feels good. This one feels more, I don't know, pleb. it's nicely bound, but also not terribly nice. See, that's the process. I printed everything out on the library computer, and then that's a huge stack. I got someone to bind them, and that's it. So it was okay, but like the thing is, because they're all different sizes, some of them are A3 like this one, some of them are horizontal like that one, so they won't fit nicely into one book even if I wanted them to, which I could. Like I did put everything in one PDF for my submission, but they just don't fit nicely together. What is an example of the type of goal you might want to achieve with a piece? I will talk in a lot of detail about that, so don't worry about it. My BA dissertation was 10,000 words, so I'm kind of surprised you did the same for your PhD. Yeah, exactly. Oh, hello, whoever just subscribed, Ronnie. So yeah, that's the thing. Oh, I forgot to turn off my speakers. It is short because, again, as I said, treat the commentary, the written word part, as like an appendix rather than the actual thesis itself. That's why it's short. The bulk of the word is the music itself, and that it's not words, obviously, but it is a lot of work. Do you have complete freedom over the goals, and did you get much guidance? Yes, very good question. I did get guidance, and he has a lot of influence on me. We've discussed lots of things, and the interesting thing about creative research is that I, rather than being like, oh, I want to look into that, one possible route of pursuing the research is more like, oh, hey, I've been doing this. What if I try to do it but more deliberately? What if I look into how to do it better? For example, let's say hypothetically, I like using birdsong in my music. So the research could be like, oh, how do I use that more effectively? Effective is a very common descriptor in my field. I say this is effective. That's not effective or convincing. Try to make the abstract a little less abstract. Yes, the music speaks for itself. In theory. So hopefully we'll talk more about that, but we'll during the Viva. Oh, by the way, I have my mock Viva, as I said, in a couple of days. So my actual Viva is in less than 2 weeks. My mock Viva is in a couple of days. This is the mock Viva. So I talked to you guys about it just to like refresh my memory of what I wrote, especially I told you earlier, it's been like half a year since I first wrote this thing. And it's been multiple years since I wrote the music itself. So I have actually, it's starting to slip from my memory. So I'm like, oh, if I talk to you guys about it, it might like help me refresh or get back into the headspace of thinking about these issues. For A-level composition, we got some freedom with one of our pieces. The other one's set brief with a specific purpose. Yeah. So obviously we don't have set briefs, but it's more like, oh, how do your goals fit into like a research framework? I was going to say, how composition is like research. So in research, you have things like literature review. You have research questions, like what you want to find out, and then you have experimentation. Let's say it's like a lab-based research project, and then you have a conclusion about like, okay. So did that work? Did that not work? And before that, you have like methodology. You design the methodology. Think about how to achieve that goal of finding out the truths. And composition is a lot like that, which is something I figured out in my first year. So first of all, let's say I want to do something. I'll look at how other composers have tried to do the same thing, or whether or not they're trying. It could be like other people have done it without trying to do it. That's also possible. That's something that it's harder to find out because they don't talk about it. You need to like use your own sense to figure that out. But you look at, that's a literature review. And then methodology is, okay, so how I'm going to try achieve this goal. And then I actually do it. And then I discuss, did it work? Did it not work? So in a way, it is like research, just less, logic based. It's not like, oh, we have these principles, and then so logically that gives us this conclusion. It's more like, so we're using this aesthetic. We want to try to achieve this, and then let's see if it works or not. Of course, there could be a lot of variation. It could be like, oh, some projects might be focused on perception, like how people perceive things, how audiences perceive things, and so on. That could potentially involve more like statistics and qualitative research and that kind of stuff. Would love to know more about writing music. Yeah, I'll show you very quickly. Do you have any regrets of further changes you would have liked to make to your pieces? We're completely happy with them. Do you just submit and forget? Oh, I think the idea is that, especially, I guess in my field, because let's say if you have, like, let's say you do digital art, right? You could make something and then you could still edit it, or I don't know, if you make clothes, as your art form, you could still like add stuff to it if you want to. But the thing is with music, yes, of course I can still change stuff. But the thing is that at least with like acoustic music, right? Acoustic, instrumental, that kind of music, you need someone to play it to get a recording. And afterwards, if I want to change something, I will need someone to play it again and record it. And that's kind of a hassle. So at least at this stage, I don't think I will like go back and change stuff unless I really want to. But of course, if I were like a very successful composer, I could easily be like, oh, that's a 2026 version, and then someone will play it and get me a recording, that kind of stuff.